In the political media bubble, it seems everyone's talking about the, quote, bad week Ron DeSantis had. And so much of it seemed to focus on the number of endorsements he received or didn't receive following a visit to D.C. But I just kept thinking, do any of these endorsements matter? Florida governor made the trek up to Washington and essentially struck out in getting major endorsements from members of Congress. One congressman, Texas Republican Lance Gooden, even walked directly out of a meeting with DeSantis and promptly announced he's endorsing Donald Trump. Combine that with the fact that Trump has been racking up the endorsements, and the media seemed to run with the headline that DeSantis' week was a disaster because of this.
Early as it is, a candidate is racking them up and another candidate is not.
DeSantis came to Washington and wasn't received as well as he thought he'd been. In fact, a bunch of Trump guys decided to name their endorsement that same week.
Just this week, DeSantis courted Republican endorsements on Capitol Hill and locked down his third. As for Trump, he now has 11 endorsements from Florida's congressional delegation, an effort to, quote, mind F DeSantis.
Does anyone outside of the media care? Do voters care about who members of Congress are endorsing? Think about it. Marco Rubio, Jeb Bush, Ted Cruz, during their runs for president in 2016 against Donald Trump, all received dozens of endorsements. Bush, 31 from Republicans in Congress. Cruz topped him with 35. And with 62, Marco Rubio had almost as double as many. Basically, it's both of them. He basically beat both of them combined. All three of them, each of them, had more than Donald Trump. And we now know how that turned out. Now, of course, the Trump camp is singing a different tune now, according to Rolling Stone, after securing the endorsements of now more than half of Florida's GOP House members. The upper ranks of Donald Trump's campaign, quote, exploded in jubilation, mocking Ron DeSantis' staff as a bunch of amateurs, with multiple officials belly laughing over how much Trump had, in their verbiage, cucked the Republican Florida governor on securing endorsements. But maybe I'm just naive, but I'm just not convinced that the public, the GOP voters to be specific, are waiting to find out who their congressman is endorsing for president. It just feels to me like a media narrative. But joining me now is Noelle Nikpour. She's a Republican strategist and fundraiser. She also ran for the GOP nomination in Florida's 18th congressional district. Thanks very much for coming on. Appreciate it. All right, so what do you make of this? What do you make of the media coverage and the significance of all this?
Well, Dan, normally a congressional endorsement or any lawmaker endorsement of a presidential candidate really wouldn't matter at all. Nobody really looks at endorsements, unless it's some sort of a big, huge celebrity endorsement. But nobody really cares about the endorsements. But in this case, they do. And because it is against a seated governor, which is Ron DeSantis, people are, really, really clamoring at the bit, so to speak, to have any sort of competition between DeSantis and Trump. Although DeSantis has not announced he's doing the walk like he is going to announce, it doesn't look good to have so many lawmakers going behind Trump. They should stay neutral in it, but they're not. They are coming out, they're very vocal, and that's got to affect other things. That can affect fundraising. That can also affect the perception of losing. And let's face it, DeSantis has got to peel off the Trump supporter. If he can peel off some of these Trump supporters, then maybe he's got a path to victory in the primary. But right now, it looks like Donald Trump is crushing Ron DeSantis, and that does not speak very well for Ron DeSantis because he still has not gotten in the race. We don't know when he's going to get into the race. And with so much support in the preliminary before he even announces that he's going to get in the race, it's not good.
Noelle Nikpour, thank you.
Thanks.
That does it for us tonight. Thanks for watching. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.